A couple of days ago, I did a video where this woman was dealing with a man and the red flags were waving. It was like so many red flags. There could have been a tornado. And so this is the image that I created because, yes, I've been having fun with AI images, but there is an update to this story. Okay, so here's the original Reddit post, which I will not be doing the whole thing. Just the title alone is enough of a red flag. She says, I'm dating a man who says he would describe himself as the male Candace Owens. And then she says, so I meet a seemingly amazing man, amazing black man, great chemistry, fine, amazing in bed, affectionate, good money, very generous. So he doesn't identify as black, but he also says he's American Indian because his grandma is Cherokee, which I don't believe. The man is blackity black, very much a natural, holistic vegan. We had a convo a few weeks ago about that has just flipped my perspective and maybe even my respect for him. We argued a bit about feminism and homosexuality. He said homosexuality is unnatural and most gay people have a hormonal imbalance, which can be fixed with holistic health. He used to be an herbalist. I'm pan questioning, and I do have hormonal imbalance. So I couldn't argue with his experience, but it just sounds like homophobic dogma wrapped up in holistic wellness ideology. Okay, if you want to see the whole thing, you can go and watch it. But it was just a bunch of red flags. And then a bunch of people jumped in the comments like, okay, you've listed all the reasons why you should break up with him. Are you going to break up with him? So me, I'm Bourbon Bougie here. I came into the post 10 hours after she posted it. People were already, it was like 200 comments wondering, okay, cool. You've listed all the reasons why you don't need to be with him. Have you broken up with him? So I came in, like I said, 10 hours later, and I said, okay, it's been 10 hours of women waving the red flags. Are you still in a relationship with him or not? And so yesterday she says, haha, I'm not in a relationship with him anymore. He really tried to convince me to stay and just let it go, talking about let go all of her issues and concerns, just let it go, or just to stay and we don't have to be official, but only date exclusively and let it play out. LOL. I was like, nah. So she broke up with him. So for one of the first times I've seen, because I haven't really been doing Reddit like that, a woman actually comes to the internet for some advice and takes the advice. She sees the red flags, she reflects, she understands that she needs to work on some things, and she is doing the work. And I'm so stoked about it. Okay, so when she responded to me, it made me go back and look at some of the things that she has said. So she posted an update in the comment section saying, an update. We're having the talk right now. He just said, I don't identify as a feminist. I don't identify as a black man. I'm human and have basic necessary characteristics to get along with the fellow human. He's been trying to convince me that I should just live in the moment and let all of this go and be together. But he says, I know I have to make my own choice and he has to allow me to be happy. She says, I'm writing this out to come back to in order to remind myself later. I told him that being with him stifles the intellectual side of myself and causing me distress, which I would be doing to please him. But he somehow didn't realize that if I just let it go, I wouldn't be happy. He's asking me, so you're unwilling to let go of your political identity, black, feminist, liberal, for a potentially healthy, loving relationship. This relationship wouldn't have been healthy. He is trying to be controlling and change aspects of her. This is not a healthy, loving relationship. Okay, she continues with, but I'm telling him I'm not just identifying in a political group or checking a box of who to vote for, but I am black. I am a feminist. I am a feminist woman, and I am a queer person and always will be. I can't just take them off and let them go. Being with him is contradicting who I am, not just politics. Amen. Politics is personal, and who we are, we can't just, take off that hat and put it down. We just cannot do. She continues with, he's going on about human nature or something, and he doesn't care to change human nature, and people are controlled by elites, so it'll always be, and there's no end game, so he's not going to fight for something. The mind shapes your reality, apparently, and you can shape your mind. Sounds like a privileged white man rhetoric to me, But it's wild because he was born in poverty, living in the hood, and as a poor black man, in which now he's ranting about not being black. Anyway, I just ordered a sandwich with potato soup and a slice of cheesecake and sweet tea, and I'm going to eat it and not feel guilty. I just moved into a new place yesterday. I picked up my stuff from his house this morning. He doesn't have my new address. Peace. Amazing. Her royal melanin responded to her with this long response. I'm going to read the first two paragraphs. She says, "What a loser with an inflated sense of self importance. You have no business entertaining that nonsensical, pitiful, self absorbed, emotional dwarf of a man. These types of men stay forever in the past and want to demean and belittle women so they can feel superior. He's selfish and inconsiderate. He sounds like a red pillar. If he's leaving you, if he's leaving you, if you gain weight, tell him that you're leaving him if he becomes bald, stops making a certain amount of money, isn't paying most or all of the bills, gains weight, becomes sick, has low performance in the bedroom, and so on. If he's going back to the past, let him know that it applies to him as well, and he better not slack on his husband duties. You and him are not compatible and want different things. Did he reveal his true nature to you later on in the relationship, or did you ignore the red flags? I agree with what you said. He's trying to change you. If he wanted a certain type of woman, he should have dated her instead of trying to mold you into his ideal woman. It's not fair on you, and you deserve better. This will only get worse until he has chipped at all of your self esteem. This is not the man for you. You have tried to meet him halfway and be receptive to his viewpoints. Okay, so that's enough of hers. I just wanted to read some of that so you understand the woman's comment that followed. Remember, or if you don't know, in the previous post, she said that he wouldn't get her medicine when she had the flu because he said that she shouldn't be taking that and he didn't want her taking her meds for depression. So the OP says, I agree with all you've said. He thinks throwing away my meds will be doing me a favor. He wants me to be all natural and heal my body naturally through a good diet and herbs. He believes pharmaceutical medicine is what's keeping me sick. I'm narcoleptic and have depression, so I take antidepressants and Adderall, which has actually helped me tremendously, but I can't tell him that. So now this is when she was coming to the realization that this man is not really for her. And I am here for it. And I do just want to bring up that it is socialization on both the men and the women, the boys and the girls, that men are leaders and that they are superior and entitled, and we should listen to their viewpoints. It takes a lot of unpacking to get to the point where we trust ourselves and don't consider their opinions to be superior. We have been fed a steady diet that women are subservient to men, that women should kowtow to men's opinions, that women should seek the approval of a man. We have been fed that steady diet. So that's the reason why I don't go so hard on these women. But it's going to take some of these support groups that we have as women to deconstruct and deprogram the socialization that comes at us hard, even when we are kids, because it is ingrained in boys that they are superior from the time that they are little. We do not hold little boys accountable. And when they grow up to be men, they take that with them because nobody has ever checked them before. So I'm glad that this woman is I'm glad that this woman is making a change for herself. And she says, nope, no more. And she walked away from that relationship. Good for her. What do you guys think? Yesterday, I made a video talking about how boys are socialized at an early age to believe that they are superior, and take that socialization into manhood. These men that we are seeing right now, these delusional men, these men living in Delulu land, didn't just arrive at Delulu land overnight. No, they were socialized that way. They were socialized by seeing men acting superior, by getting the messages that men are the leaders, that girls are supposed to serve, that moms and wives are supposed to do everything. These men are created, and it starts with boyhood. And even if you live in a home where you're trying to teach, boys how to do chores and clean up after themselves and be respectful of all humans. When they get out into the world and they're socialized with other males who act like they are superior, they are still they're still programmed with this, because within the household is not the only way that these people learn. They learn in the wider world. They learn when they look at TV and they see that the majority of world leaders are men. They see this in the messaging in the books written by men, in the movies written by men. They see all of this. So the entitlement, the superior attitude, the fact that they believe that they are the most logical and their opinions are the most important is ingrained earlier. And so they have been fed a fairy tale, just like the women have been fed a fairy tale that we're supposed to serve. And the only thing that matters is getting a man. And we're supposed to just sit here and have all the babies. We are fed a fairy tale. They're fed the flip side of the fairy tale, where they are the king. And so it's going to take a lot of deprogramming of women and then walking away from being that character that these men expect us to be, because they are not going to change on their own, because they have reaped a whole lot of benefits from the fairy tale that they were fed. So why would they put that down or put that aside simply because they should? They won't. For a few of the comments on my post, Avocado No Thanks says, when I was in middle school, during class changes, I would sometimes feel someone grab my butt. I felt uncomfortable, but everyone said, take it as a compliment. It made me feel so confused. I didn't like it, but people said I should. My classmates also caught a male teacher checking me out while my back was turned, and they oohed and awed like it was the highest compliment. Again, I felt uncomfortable. None of these experiences were things I bragged about or openly shared. Some boys who made disgusting, vulgar comments were rarely corrected. Just hee hee, they're so crazy. Um, they're so crazy at this age. Little horn dogs, boys will be boys. Males are enabled from childhood to adulthood. Recognize that women and girls are told to turn off our own thinking, that we're just supposed to accept this. We're supposed to accept being touched, that consent is not important. And boys are given the message that consent is not important because they're not held accountable for touching someone without their consent. They're not held accountable or face any consequences for touching girls or making vulgar comments. They are not. So until we get out of this boys will be boys society, boys will not feel the accountability and the consequences, so they won't change their behavior. This woman says, I would come home from school crying because I was bullied mercilessly by boys. They called me ugly and humiliate me in front of large groups of other students. I had rocks thrown at me. I took it just because I didn't know that I had power. I was conditioned to just put up with it and not defend myself. I was taught to not make waves and let it go. I tell my mother what happened, and yep, I got they're teasing you because they like you line. Even in elementary school, I knew that was BS. After years of therapy, I've learned that I don't have to give away my power and set boundaries, and that I'm worthy of happiness. Exactly. We have got to stop trying to turn what these boys do, these mean spirited bullying tactics, into something nice. That is where girls learn that if he hits you, he loves you. And then once you take that into adulthood, this is one of the reasons why some women take a long time to leave an abusive relationship, because we have been socialized to believe if he hits you, he likes you. So this woman says, I was taught at 10 years old by my mother that my older golden brother was showing me love by hurting me, hitting me, abusing me, bruising me, and humiliating me in front of our older, not too kind to girls, teen male cousins, and encouraging them to follow, which of course they did at the extended family Christmas Eve party. I still don't like Christmas to this day. If in the home, parents okay this behavior by not correcting boys, girls will continue to think that this is okay, and the boys will also think that this type of behavior is okay. So that's why we have got to shut down this socialization really early, and that will help to create a society where women are safer. If they're not safe in the home, they're not safe at school as girls, what makes us think that we're going to have a society that's healthy and safe and secure for all of us to flourish and thrive? Okay, I just wanted to point out some of that and speak to a little bit more of the socialization because it happens early and it's not checked early. And that is how we get these entitled and extra delusional men that just believe that they are everything and that everybody should just bow down. They come from somewhere. They come from little boys who were never checked. Okay, let me know what you think of all this and how I put it together. Don't forget to like, comment, share.